Doctor Who, every Christmas special ranked. It is Christmas time once again, and while that means different things to different people, it means something special to all Doctor Who fans, the Doctor Who Christmas Special. This year's Doctor Who Christmas Special is especially special since it will be the last episode for the lead writer and executive producer Steven Moffat, who has been writing for Doctor Who since the show's first season and has been the showrunner on the series since its fifth season. This will also be the final episode to star Peter Capaldi as the 12th Doctor, who will regenerate into Jodie Whitaker's 13th Doctor, and to co-star Pearl Mackie as companion Bill Potts. It is a definite turning point for the series, and one that looks back on the entire 50-year history of the franchise by guest starring David Bradley as the First Doctor, who was originally played by William Hartnell. In this year's Doctor Who Christmas Special, titled Twice Upon a Time, the First and Twelfth Doctors meet during the events of the 10th planet, when both were refusing to give in to their impending regenerations. A British Army captain, played by guest star Mark Gatiss, seemingly destined to die in the First World War, is taken from the trenches to play his part in the Doctor's story. The 12th Doctor must face his past to decide his future, along the way realizing the resilience of humanity and discovering hope in his darkest frozen moment. But before all of that, comicbook.com is going to look back at the Doctor Who Christmas specials that have preceded Twice Upon a Time and rank them all, from David Tennant's debut as the Doctor in The Christmas Invasion, to the first appearance of the Ghost in last year's Christmas episode, The Return of Doctor Mysterio. Keep reading to see how each Doctor Who Christmas special ranks. Not only is The Time of the Doctor a disappointment as a Christmas special, but it is also an unworthy send-off to Matt Smith's 11th Doctor. Yes, The Time of the Doctor pulled double duty as a Christmas special, which mostly seems to serve as the justification for naming the town the Doctor spends a lifetime defending Christmas. Steven Moffat tried to tie up all of the many loose ends involved with Smith's run as the Doctor in a single episode, and it became something of an impenetrable mess of a story that just seems to go on, and on, and on. Matt Smith's final scenes are touching, and Karen Gillan's cameo is welcome, but this episode is no Christmas joy. The next Doctor feels like a one-note gimmick that somehow got turned into a full-length episode of television. This Christmas special hit just after Russell T Davies announced he'd be departing Doctor Who, so fans were naturally very curious about what was next for the series. Enter David Morrissey as a character who has somehow come to believe he's the Doctor. Is he from the future? Would he replace David Tennant? The answers are all rather anticlimactic, leaving the episode rather forgettable. It is most notable for arguably being the poorest use of the Cybermen in modern Doctor Who, and for Morrissey's commendable performance. The title of the Doctor, The Widow, and the Wardrobe is an obvious reference to C.S. Lewis' Chronicles of Narnia novel The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, but this special doesn't justify the reference. Steven Moffat's script uses evil trees in place of a truly identifiable, substantive villain in an episode that relies far too heavily on the sentimentality of Christmas to carry it through. The episode's plot is threadbare, leaving nothing but forced drama that mostly fails to find the mark. The one exception is the final scene, in which the Doctor joins Amy and Rory for Christmas dinner, but as touching as that scene is, it is still hardly enough to redeem this stretch of a Doctor Who story. The first half on its own is a bit difficult to digest. The first 30 minutes or so play like a hard-to-follow film school project that leaves viewers lost, and the back half is 30 minutes of mostly spinning wheels while waiting to get to the point. The episode fails to build much tension or momentum, but it does have John Simm's fantastic performance as the Master, and when the episode finally does get to the point, it is quite the cliffhanger. Voyage of the Damned is an interesting episode because it puts the greatest strengths and most infuriating tics of Russell T Davies' Doctor Who on display. The episode doesn't have the most surprising plot. It's a disaster set in space on a ship named Titanic, and it plays out pretty much exactly how you'd expect. Davies' fixation with the Doctor as a Christ figure is at its least subtle, with robot angels at one point carrying the Doctor upwards. On the other hand, it is hard to deny that the episode has charm, and Tennant has genuine chemistry with stunt-casted guest companion Kyle Minogue. Voyage of the Damned is a mixed bag to be sure, but it could be much worse.